right, so Lena asked a question. She says that her horse will turn whenever she does lateral flexion, which is asking her horse to flex around. How does she get her horse to stop doing that? And she was referring to a video where I think I was teaching a student who was mounted on how to properly flex their horse. Great question. So teaching the flexing starts on the ground, like a lot of things that we do, in order to give our horse a good solid understanding of what we're asking. And so if you're on the ground, a big mistake that I see with a lot of people when they're asking for flexion, and actually I haven't done a lot of flexing with Slate just because of his particular issues and where he is. But what a lot of people end up doing is they're standing right here by the shoulder when they ask for the flex, okay? And if I'm standing by the shoulder, good boy, when I ask for the flex, you're okay, buddy. What ends up happening is we end up stuffing our horse up where he doesn't feel like he can actually tip into me and flex. So what I want to see is you want to be standing way back here by your horse's hip, okay? Now, obviously, a horse that you're flexing is more progressive in their training. You know, it's not like Slate where I don't know that I feel particularly comfortable just like really hanging out by his hip and pulling on his face, right? But you're gonna stand way back here by his hip while you flex to make some room for him to come around. A lot of horses, just like Slate will do, will move that hind in because they think that you're asking them to move the hind in. But all you would do is maintain that pressure until he comes. And so if he moves, I'll move with him until he comes there without moving his hind end, right? And then I'll release to let him know that he got the release of pressure by softening into me, not by moving his hip. I'll ask him again here. I'll ask him to come in. He's moving his hips, so I'm not gonna release. I'm gonna float with him. And again, if I was doing this with a horse that I were more comfortable being like right next to, you know, I would be right up against him. But again, this pressure is still here. There. When he just brings that nose around, there, good, without moving that hip, that's where I would give him the release. You can see with a horse who's never done it before, I'm not getting him to flex all the way around. I'm just, easy, buddy. I'm just working on getting him to just soften into my rein, right? Tip that nose in. I want to be very gradual in what my expectation is. You're okay, bud. You're okay. So I'll tip that in. There, release. He didn't move his hip. He didn't circle around. Give him a rub. Let him know he did a good job. Tip that nose in. Just the front end. Even if that front end comes towards me, he moved the front end. He didn't circle around and scoot that hind end out from underneath me. I'll reward him for that because it's in the right direction and it's a good start. But you can see how I could gradually build off of that and ask for more. See if I can get a little bit more out of him. There, good. And eventually get him to where he's really flexing all the way around. But again, I'd want to step back, be closer to his hip and hind end so he has plenty of room to come around.